okay, when you're offering new business models, only then can you really enter a digital paradigm. I said that the blockchain might be used to bring industries such as banking that still have a paper-based logic to the digital age. And this is what many banks also want to do. I heard many bank CEOs, Citibank, ING, and others say that they want to be tech companies with banking licenses, not so much banks. Now, what they don't understand is it's not enough just to have a fancy app to be a digital company. You also have to change the mindset of your people. You have to change your back-end systems. You cannot work with old legacy systems from the 50s or 60s. And of course, it also involves sometimes a change of business model. And the second thing that these CEOs that want to be a digital company don't understand is that when they're moving into another paradigm, they're not moving into a vacuum, but they're moving into an arena where they are facing powerful competitors, as you can see here. Now, just an anecdote before I close to show you how fast things are moving and to show you how important tech will be in this new blockchain world. In 2017, I wrote an article in the American Banker saying that it will not be fintechs that are challenging banks. It will be data giants, that they have the tools, they have the necessary resources, they have deep pockets, they have globally trusted brands. And if you're facing them on their turf, meaning their market mechanisms. You have double-sided platforms, you have zero-based pricing, you have winner-take-all mechanisms, and so on and so forth. Now, just 2-3 months after this article, Amazon Web Services came out, or their CEO, saying that they do not have any intention of going into the blockchain world. I was asked to revisit this article 18 months later, and to my great delight, Amazon Web Services have changed their strategy, and they came out with two products. One was the Amazon Quantum Ledger, yes, and the second was the Amazon Managed Blockchain Service. On top of this, they had built the world's largest platform for building end-to-end blockchains. Now, this shows you how quickly things are going, and AWS is not alone. It's not only Amazon that's getting in there. If you look at Google, Google is the second largest investor into blockchain technology worldwide of any industry, right after Japan's SBI. If you look at Alibaba and its financial services arm, Alipay, are enabling Hong Kong migrant workers to send back money via the blockchain. This is the classical remittance use case. And of course, Tencent in China and Baidu as well are experimenting with the blockchain, not so much with cryptocurrencies because that is banned by the Chinese government, but they're looking at the technology again to make their processes leaner and more efficient. And of course, at this point, we also need to mention Facebook. Facebook's Libra announcement, maybe some of you have heard it this June, sent shockwaves around the world to regulators and also a lot of reactions. The United States Congress had a regulatory backlash on this, obviously, because it has multiple risks, systemic risks to the US dollar, you have anti-money laundering things, you have issues with terrorism financing, you have issues with data privacy. There's many topics that are unclear here, and it is two things we can learn from this. Facebook is different than other tech companies like IBM. IBM, for example, has been fueling the rise of the blockchain for years. They have had many, many applications. It's Hyperledger projects. They're behind most of the corporations that are doing blockchain today. But they're living in a symbiosis, in a synergy with banks and other companies. They're more familiar as the technology provider. Now, Facebook and Google and maybe Amazon as well, this we will see, they're trying to capture the customer interface because they know this is where the most money is. And Facebook is also redefining industry boundaries. It is redefining competitive boundaries. So banking has been shielded by the banking license from competition for centuries. Now they're evading this banking license by putting up a Libra association that is supposed to govern this new currency that it wants to have by 2020. And this Libra organization will be headquartered in Switzerland just to evade, the precept of having a banking license in the United States. So what this shows you, I'll skip through this, I think we discussed all of it, is that blockchain in particular also a tech topic. It's more an opportunity for tech than a threat, because it allows tech to go into big industries. As we've seen with Facebook, it's trying to break into finance, which is a $134 trillion industry. And there is a big space for managed service providers, because one common misconception is that blockchain is alleviating all kinds of IT infrastructures, but this is not the case. We will still need IT security, we will still need servers, managed servers, we will still need databases. Blockchain itself is not a database, even though this is often claimed. So the area for managed services provider is growing, but for you it's even more important to understand the buying behaviors, to understand the markets in order to be able to provide the necessary services for your customers. So this is pretty much most of it from my side. If you want to know more about it, maybe you can read about it in my book, or I'll be still around here. If you don't manage to grab hold of me, I'll be happy to be in touch with you in any of those channels. Just let me know. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Igor. Before you go, I think the German government made an announcement today. Could you just explain? Sorry.
Yes, so Yes, so the German government tried to bring clarity into this crypto space today, and he did some very interesting thoughts also on Libra, since we've been discussing Libra. So it specifically banned coins issued by companies such as Facebook, companies that are stable coins, meaning that they are pegged to some fiat currency, like in the case of Facebook basket of currencies. They did not ban, however, Bitcoin and other quote-unquote real cryptocurrencies, but they are already, I would say, threatening, or they're saying that they will put some harsh regulations on it, which makes sense because it is a kind of a currency. But the problem is that in many countries we have very different regulations, and we've seen it with Libra. It's on the one hand, it's different in Switzerland than in the United States, and this leads to a lot of regulatory arbitrage.